Hi! Welcome to our living room. In this edition of the Disney Couch, we are picking it up in 1949.
We are watching The Adventures of Itchy Toad.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Tell us, what are we going to see?
So there's two segments on this one. There's The Wind in the Willows and The Adventures of Ichabod Crane. Wind in the Willows have been in pre-production for a while, like since 1941, but it got shelved. I got the impression that somewhere in the 40s there's like this room just full of half-finished animation projects that Walt was just like picking them out. So this was the last one. So this is kind of the end of the package film era.
Filth! Cinderella will never be as good.
I'm actually quite curious about watching this because my only experience with this movie is Disney would put together all these clips of the scariest moments of every Disney film, and so the part from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow with the Headless Horseman absolutely terrified me.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's my only context for this one.
So I don't know really what it's about, and so I'm actually kind of curious to know, is this actually as scary as I thought it was as a kid? And then the other thing I'm looking forward to is Mr. Toad short.
Yeah, because when we went to Disneyland, we went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
So I'm anticipating somewhere there will be weasels, motor cars, a library, a judge, and possibly hell.
That's in the ride.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So Jaira, have you heard anything about Wind in the Willows, Mr. Toad, Ichabod Crane, Legend of Sleepy Hollow? Is this just gibberish to you right now?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just gibberish. Gibberish of an insane person.
I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Excellent. All right, where's that remote control? Oh, okay. Ready? Here we go. The Adventures of Mr. Itchy Toad.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Ichabod.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad together at last. What'd you think?
I was engaged throughout the entire time. Both were like just long enough, they didn't have any agonizingly long sequences.
Yeah.
And they both have plots. So
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
I loved Mr. Toad, all the Britishisms, and
It was very British.
yeah, Toad kept saying "Gad," and they had tea, and yeah, it was really cute that
It
way.
was like Winnie the Pooh.
Any parts in particular you enjoyed?
Oh, just all of it.
I thought Mr. Toad had a great slapstick fight chase sequence. Weasels pulling out hundreds of knives and
I
paper
loved it.
airplanes.
Yeah, very entertaining.
Yeah, very cartoony. Just, what you want when you want a cartoon. No, I don't want to see silhouettes of ballet dancers. I want to see slapstick and knives and weasels.
Mr. Toad as a character was both annoying and likable.
Yeah.
He just loved life and loved doing what he did, but he was also really clueless. And his friends were like there for him, and even though they wanted to have the tough love thing, they were really good friends for him.
So if I ever get motor car mania, I hope I have friends like that.
Yeah, like Mole and
Ratty! Molly!
I like how it actually had a happy ending. Like, I was kind of expecting that he'd just end up in jail for the rest of his life, but then he managed to prove that he was innocent, and happy ending.
What didn't have quite so happy ending was The Adventures of Ichabod. It kind of...
well, it was a happy ending depending on who's... It was actually really interesting. Legend of Sleepy Hollow really didn't have very much to do with the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and all about the love triangle between Katrina, Ichabod, and Brom, who looked like Gaston.
She's watched a lot of Gilmore Girls, so she really understands love triangles.
That's right. Katrina was a total player and wanted to marry Brom, but also wanted him to have to fight for her, and so she kind of kept him on a string, allowed herself to be flirted with Ichabod.
Katrina was awful.
Yeah, horrible.
And so Brom knew he couldn't outsmart Ichabod. So Brom set him up with all these tales of a headless horseman, and then ended up pranking him.
Yep.
So that's my theory that
So do you think it was Brom in the Headless Horseman outfit?
it was Brom. Brom was the
Absolutely.
Headless Horseman. Yeah, and when I was a kid watching this, all I saw was this scene in the woods, him being chased by the Headless Horseman, which was terrifying to me. But now watching it and realizing, oh, Brom is just setting him up to try and frighten him off, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like,
So does that mean that Brom's the hero?
Yeah, I feel like it would have been a
Sort of.
happier tale if they told it from Brom's perspective.
but Ichabod, he was the main character, but he wasn't likable. Like he was.
I liked
He
it.
wasn't dislikable.
I was tracking with him.
He was
Well,
smooth.
he just wanted Katrina for her father's land.
That's
Like he was
true,
dreaming
yeah.
about Katrina and dreaming about money coming out of the barn, and
I-
he was a user. You know, he flirted with women and had their attentions just so he could get fed. I'm a mom, so I'm viewing all these male characters with a fair amount of suspicion.
And the moral of the story? You can't reason with a headless man. Well, let's get to our scoreboard and see how the adventures of Mr. Itchy Toad stacks up on our Ultimate Disney scale.
The kiss.
There were a few kisses. Yeah.
When?
Winky kissed the deed to the Toad Hall.
I don't think that's the kiss.
Ichabod thought he was kissing Dream Katrina, and then he wound up kissing his feather duster.
Yeah, that was kind of an uncomfortable moment.
No kiss.
Yeah. We did actually have some Twitterpation happening.
Oh yeah.
Ichabod was fully Twitterpated. Twitterpation sweeping the nation. Okay, so no official kiss.
Yeah, no kiss, no duet
No
either.
duet.
Yeah.
There wasn't singing together.
Hit song.
No hit songs.
No hit song.
We had Bing Crosby, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when he was the voice of Ichabod Crane and was crooning. That was pretty cool.
Witchy villain.
Well, does the Headless Horseman count?
I'd say so.
I think so.
Even if it wasn't really the Headless Horseman.
They
somebody-
didn't specifically say that, and
Yeah.
it sure looked witchy, so I think we should count it.
How else can you survive without a head?
Ugly villain.
The Headless Horseman, was actually quite dashing.
He was, yeah. A really good rider, too.
Who's the villain in Mr. Toad? Is it the Winky guy?
Yeah, I think it's Winky, but I don't think he's.
Kind of
I don't think he was ugly. He
No.
reminded me of the Monopoly Man.
Yeah. And he had a matching mustache for his hair. He had a mustache on his face and a mustache on his head, which I kept getting distracted by because he'd keep twisting it.
Yeah, he'd do the same thing with his mustache and then with his head mustache. I wouldn't call him ugly, though.
No.
I mean, he's definitely funny looking, but not ugly.
Death by falling.
We had supposed death by flying flaming pumpkin head to the face.
Nope. No death by falling. Alcohol.
Yeah, there's a few things. We got Weasel with the tray of beer mugs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As they, and then they all got drunk and passed out in Toad Hall, so I guess that counts, eh?
Missing parents. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Katrina's father was mentioned.
Well, yeah, and her mother wasn't.
I don't think they're missing because
Yeah.
they're just not featured in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like Katrina's an orphan. In fact, quite the opposite. I think Katrina's a little spoiled.
Okay, so I'd say, yeah, no to missing parents.
Yeah.
Dad with a stash.
Katrina's dad, he didn't have a stash.
He did?
He had
Thought
a
he did.
he had a really awesome pipe, but I don't think he had a stash.
about Whipper.
Whipper.
Winky?
Winky,
He wasn't a dad.
He was a father figure to the weasels.
Talking animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Animals and humans coexisting.
Yeah.
Horses walking upright and sometimes on all four legs. Yeah. It was kind of funny that that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
The postman asking the water rat, "How are things on the water?" "Oh, jolly good, yes." What?
Unlikely partnership.
Not yet.
Was Horace and
Don't try. Hidden Mickey.
Yeah.
Sand the Rock.
Finally something other than just bubbles or
Dust.
smoke. Which there was too.
Yep.
Yeah. The book intro.
Yep.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, it was very much the nod to the the library. Mr. Toad was right next to Canterbury Tales.
Resurrection. Mr.
There-
Toad somehow escaped drowning.
I know, yeah, they had this kind of horrifying scene of Mr. Toad, or
Yeah,
did he
because
drown,
he decided he was going to jump into a river with a massive ball and chain attached to his ankle.
down to the part where you just see his little toady hands grasping above the water.
And then it fades out.
And then all of a sudden he shows up at his friend's door. We're like,
Yeah, he's
Okay.
he's in the door. He just somehow narrowly escaped drowning, but we don't know how.
Yeah. Well, he pretty much spent the entire short narrowly escaping death. So, this was no different. Okay, so adding it all up, what do we got, Jaira?
Our total is a 5 out of 14.
Wow.
It's kind of average for
Yeah.
these kind of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Ellie? Would you recommend this? Would you say, yeah, get that out, it's a good movie?
Yeah, I mean, if there were other movies like Frozen or Tangled, then I would recommend that. But if this was the only movie, then I would recommend this.
I think it is the best out of the short collections.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. We'll put some links around here for our other videos, so check those out. This is From the Disney Couch. Thanks for joining us on the quest for the ultimate Disney movie.
Bye. Bye. Now can we watch the bonus feature?
We need the remote.
Yeah. Wait, I'll do it with my mind.
Okay, good.
Too much salsa. Too much salsa.
Why did you just have a bowl full of salsa?
Salty.
Yeah, you might get a bit of indigestion.